So this question is a diagram question. Any question that provides some visual input, like a table or a graph or a shape, I'm going to call a diagram question. So whenever I see diagrams, I like to make sure I understand those diagrams before I read anything. You can decide to read first, but it's kind of my way of doing it. I know that I'm going to need to use it, so I want to be able to understand it and read it carefully. So it looks like in this table that we have three groups: Group A, Group B, Group C. And then we have these age ranges, or years ranges at least. So between 0 and 9 years, between 10 and 19 years, and 20 plus years. And we have totals, of course, column and total rows. So now I'm going to read this. I think I understand that table pretty clearly. The information in the question says, the table summarizes the distribution of age and assigned group for 90 participants in a study. All right, so I see 90 here as being the total for everything, so that makes sense. And let me just make sure also, there's another strategy I like to use called pinpoint method that just helps me to really clarify that I understand a diagram, is where you just pick a number on a table or on a graph and try to describe it. So this 16 that I just circled represents there are 16 participants in Group B who are 20 plus years old, right? So I think the fact that I was able to accomplish that and articulate that, it means I can understand what all these numbers mean. So then I continue on. One of these participants will be selected at random, right? So it's usually a headway into using the word probability. Let's see. What is, there it is, the probability of selecting a participant from Group A, given that the participant is at least 10 years of age? So here's the deal. Whenever I see the word probability, I immediately am going to think it's a fraction, where the numerator is what I want, and the denominator is what I have. Okay, so what do we want? What is the probability of selecting a participant from Group A? So I want a participant from Group A, given that the participant is at least 10 years of age. All right, so what do I have? Well, I don't have 20 plus year olds, right? So those are all gone. To say I'm at least 10 years of age, I don't have 10 to 9. Actually, that's wrong. I'm at least 10 years of age does in fact mean, let's get rid of that I'm between these two. This is the one that's crossed out, right? I'm not less than 10 years of age. So how many participants of the 90 are at least 10 years of age? Well, that will come down in the total section here. There are 60 participants of the 90 participants in this study who are at least 10 years of age, which means that's the total number I have to choose from, 60 people. What do I want out of those 60 people? I want a participant that's from Group A. Well, Group A, that's at least 10 years of age, are only these two numbers here, the 17 and the 8. 17 plus 8 is 25. So this tells me that there are 25 out of 60 at least 10-year-olds who happen to be in Group A. That's the probability, right? So if I chose any of these 25 people, they would represent what I wanted. Hopefully that makes sense. The numerator always should be the number that reflects success, right? Success in this case would be choosing someone who is in Group A and at least 10 years of age. And that is represented by 25 people. Whereas what I have is, well, how many people am I choosing from? Well, to be at least 10 years of age does not necessarily mean you're in Group A. You could be in Group A, B, or C, and that's where the 60 comes from in the denominator. Hopefully that makes sense. Looking at my answer choices, I don't see an answer that looks exactly like what I have, but that's to be expected because 25 over 60 can be reduced. So I'm going to just reduce that fraction. Looks like 5 can go into both. So if I divide both top and bottom by 5, 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. So the reduced version of this is 5/12, and therefore the correct answer here is choice B.